if you're interested in making consistent returns, it's a super simple trade to set up. I mean, it's really one of the easiest trades that we do. So it's got an extremely high probability of profit. That's what you're interested in, you need to join the programs. And if in the rare case the trade does go against you, the adjustment also is very simple. So you just got to follow the rules with it. If you're looking for a simple trade with very consistent returns, then I would by all means join.
Okay, so I'm joined today with Robert Norris. He has been with OptionGenius for a while now. You have been in various programs with OptionGenius and recently with Market Power, which we're going to talk about today. So I just kind of trying to get a little bit of background and be helpful for the viewer to kind of get a little background about yourself and how did you really, I'm always interested in first and foremost about how people found OptionGenius. So a little bit of your history would be helpful.
Sure. Okay. Yeah. Great question, Matt. First of all, I was trained very fundamentally in terms of financials and, stock analysis a long time ago. And so back in the day, this was way before, internet trading and that sort of thing. And, options were available, but didn't have any training. Everything was fundamental, profits of a company, balance sheet. And so really, I just kind of had various jobs throughout my career, but they were always somewhat financially oriented. And actually in the late 90s, early 2000s, I was an investment representative for one of the Wall Street, firms, a big national firm, for about 4.5 years. So I was Series 7 licensed. It's a very conservative firm. We were not allowed to trade options, but that was still back in the day when stock trades cost $35 or $40 to place. Okay. So, things have changed a lot in the last even 20, 25 years. So again, that was kind of my background. So I was like trying, okay, stay away from it. Don't do it. I mean, I had to learn a lot about options to pass my Series 7 licensure, but we never used it. It was always, we were told, okay, you're going to have to do it to pass the test and then forget about it. Okay. Once you get started. So I really kind of did. However, once I gravitated in some other areas, I did start taking a look and I did some very basic option trades. I essentially just did covered calls and just, totally on my own. I really didn't know how to analyze them and, it just kind of worked out pretty good, but nothing really spectacular. So then I started getting a little bit more interested in option trades because I knew that there was a lot more out there besides covered calls. So I really just started doing some research, online and just looking at different YouTubes. And that's really where I found OptionGenius. I had listened to several podcasts and our residences in Texas, and we have a second home in Florida. And so I would listen to multiple podcasts on my drive from Texas to Florida. Mm-hmm. And man, by the time I would get to Florida and go, I'm pumped. I need to learn more about this. So I did that and I tried to kind of do my homework and kind of check into OptionGenius. And I did join, I guess the first program that I joined was the credit spread mastery. And again, I had done some trades, some option trades. I'd done some credit spreads prior with another advisory service, but it was really, man, it's just following what they did. They didn't teach us how to do it. And I just didn't feel complete with that. I'm just following the whims of what, these guys were doing. And so I didn't know how to, I just did not do it on my own at all. So with Alan's program with OptionGenius, it was like, we're going to teach you how to do it, how you can do your own analysis. And I was like, okay, this is awesome. That's really what I want to do because I feel like I've done enough credit spread trades and a few other, types of trades that would like, okay, I think I understand the fundamentals now. I've been putting them on for a couple of years at that point, but I really want to be able to do the analysis and do my own setup and decide my own risk factor about what I was comfortable with and what I wasn't comfortable with. So that's really what led me to OptionGenius. And so, I joined and did the credit spread class and learned quite a bit. And then subsequent to that, I joined the oil trading program. So those are the two that I've done before the Market Power came along.
Great. Fantastic. Yeah, it's always interesting how, thank you for that, because I think about how I thought about it, joining OptionGenius a long time ago. And, a lot of it was through podcasts and different things. And what really resonated with me as yourself is that, show me how to do it, right? Have a plan and show me how to do things where I can make my own decisions off of that plan. So
correct.
Yeah,
correct.
So that's great. So you joined the Market Power program. So that's why we're here today, to get kind of your experience about that. And I was going to ask you, you're part of the beta group, which was, man, time's really moving now. It's probably February when we started that, somewhere in
Yes,
there.
yes.
And
And really, I got started in March because we were out of town. So yeah, I was a little late on I didn't watch the initial trainings live. I had to do the recordings.
okay,
Yeah.
so you're all caught up now. So you're
Yeah.
doing, yeah. So, but my question was, what specifically made you jump on you're like, hey, I want to do this program specifically for the market power
Well,
program.
Matt, really two things. First of all, I had the prior training from Alan, with OptionGenius and I knew he would have a program where it's like you're still determining the parameters of the trade.
Mhm.
And secondly, I had already been trading some zero DTE, 0 days to the expiration on SPX already on my own. I've been doing it for about 6 months. And I was doing a strategy, if you can call it that, but I was doing actually pretty wide spreads and not doing too terribly many contracts and being generally pretty safe, but I really wasn't having a huge return. So I couldn't really scale it up. It would have created a lot of capital, a lot of margin to trade that kind of or scale that kind of trade up. So then when Alec came along, I know that like I'm too lazy to do all the back testing and research myself. So we said,
Can't blame
okay,
you there.
I've been working on this for a while, and I kind of went through it. And since I've been doing the zero DTE trades, when he was talking about a 1 day to expiration trade, I was like, okay, that makes sense. And then the real clincher for me was like you can make an adjustment with it, because with the zero DTEs, if it moves against you, and again, my success rate was actually pretty good, but again, I was getting pretty far away from the strikes, so just wasn't really getting that good of a return overall. So with the 1 DTE trades and doing the market power methodology on it, it was like, okay, this totally makes sense, and it's another refinement by just that the whole trade is signaled by a more of a standard deviation move. Okay, so it's not an everyday thing, but just the fact that you can then put it on toward the end of the day, and you can see if kind of one's coming up potentially, and then watch it and kind of look at your strikes, your potential strikes, and then just monitor it the next day. And the fact that you can adjust it if necessary was like kind of blew my mind. Okay, that's what it was. Doing the research was like, and first of all, it's like, I mean, what's the win rate already without even an adjustment? It's like 95%. I mean, it's like unbelievable. So we're always as traders looking for an edge. And I thought, oh my gosh, this is like, I don't know. I can't poke any holes in it. All right. So it's just like,
great,
getting an edge like that. And for me, what I was looking for, it's just another tool in the trading toolbox. Okay. So again, it didn't set up every day. We've gotten a pretty fair number of them, this year since we started. But it looks like, according to Alan's back testing, like some years is going to be a little bit more volatility and we're going to have a little more opportunities than others. That's okay. But it's just great to have something else that, in the trading toolbox. And again, something that I know how to set up totally on my own. I'm not just, now that I've been trained, it's like, I know what to look for. I know how to set it up, I know how much risk we want to take. And so, yeah, I mean, it started off great and it's just, it's fantastic. Yeah. I mean, it's just like, yeah. So yeah, that's really the just how we got started with it.
That's a great answer. Yeah, it's really been unbelievable. I think it's exceeded everything that I thought it would do so far, with the process, the adjustment. It just really gives you a very great sense of confidence that you build over time when you get involved in this program, for sure.
Right. I think that, again, like I said, you're always looking for an edge as a trader, but then to have not only just a really, really good edge on this type of trade, but then knowing that it can be adjusted. And we have had to adjust a couple of them. A couple of them we thought, oh, we might have to, but they worked out fine. And both adjustments that I've had to do have worked just like clockwork, just exactly like we described. And there was actually one of the adjustments that we made, and I don't know how much the detail we need to get into, but like it's really just to recover the trade and get a break even on it. Well, there's one of them I actually did a few more extra contracts with and actually made a little bit on the adjustment. So I was like, okay, sweet, this is awesome. So again, the fact that that you can adjust it and recover a potentially losing trade to where at least is break even is a tremendous confidence builder.
Absolutely agree. So I was going to ask you, my next question was to you, it was like, has this program, did you have any expectations going into the program? And And if so, were they met or have they exceeded your expectations?
Well, Matt, again, it's another good question. I really didn't have any specific expectations. Again, I'd had training with OptionGenius on the two other programs, so I knew what to expect on that side of it. And I was looking for a more refined, tool for the toolbox. And so that was certainly met. And the fact that after going through the program and learning all the back testing that was done, and just statistically how often this trade just works out on the first round anyway, it's like, okay, that's wonderful. But then in the event that we do need to adjust it, wow, what another edge. Like, you can adjust it, and like, it's just, the edge is just overwhelming when it comes to that. So yes, so really no specifics, because I really kind of knew what to expect, I think.
Yeah, that's great. And then that kind of leads me to my next question. So how has the support been for you so far, from the OptionGenius team, but also I want to, I already know the answer to this part, but the support from your colleagues or the people that are trading with you every day, in the group?
Sure. It's been great, actually. And so I'm very much a non-social media person. So I had a Facebook account, I think, that my daughter set up about 12, 13 years ago when she was in college. And I don't think I'd ever even logged in until I started doing the OptionGenius thing. And again, I'm following the other groups, the Credit Spread Mastery and the oil. But actually, it's with this trade, it's even more active, since we all kind of were in the first group, together. I think it's been great. It's been super good learning experience, because a lot of people ask really good questions in there.
Mm-hmm.
And even for somebody that's kind of new coming in, everybody seems to be, quite helpful with it, and, good explanations. Now, I'm not sure I probably know more about how to do the trade than I do know how to do Facebook. So, but that's okay.
Good, right?
I'm very comfortable with that. So yeah. But some of these people, they'll post other, links to either a chart or a graph, something that they've looked at, and it's like, okay, I get it. It makes sense now. I don't know how to post those things. I know how to analyze them now, but I don't know how to post it.
Well, you know what's important. That's
Yes,
the most important.
exactly.
But it's also like, this group it's a high energy group. Every group's got its kind of own identity, if you will. And this group is like fast paced, like very informative. It's just a very high energy group, I think. So
yes. And I think, Matt, due to the nature of the setup of the trade, because essentially we want to wait till pretty much right at the end of the trading day to right to the close. And so you're really watching it. So you're kind of high intense alert, that last, 15, 20 minutes of the trading day, and just seeing the setup, seeing if there's going to be a move that, goes one direction or the other that might adjust your trade, even though, and of course, I don't know what most everybody does, but I already have 2 or 3 set up, of course, in my trading platform in Thinkorswim. And so I'm ready to go with it. But then it's always like, okay, well, should I go ahead and do it now? Should I wait another couple of minutes? And should I go ahead and do it? And it's like, there's no right or wrong, of course,
right.
but like, every trading day is different. But yeah, it does get pretty intense. And then it seems like afterwards, of course, I'm in Central Time, so at market close for me is 3:00. So at 3:02 or 3:01, people are like, okay, did you get in? What was your fill? And all that. So, and it's good, because, hey, you want to see that other people have success too.
Absolutely.
And again, if anybody has questions, or if they go, gee, I didn't quite understand what we do there, or why did this happen? It's like, again, there's some really good feedback, and it seems to be, very helpful.
Great. So specifically, if you don't mind sharing, how have your results been so far?
Well, I've had, I don't really track the percentage as much as dollars, but like every trade has been a winner except for one, and I've forgotten how many trades I've done. So definitely done over 20 trades, I think, at this point. So we had one that broke even, and even one of the other, we have had 2 that we've had to adjust, but I ended up making money on that one because I snuck in a few extra contracts on that one with the adjustment. So man, you can't get any better than that. So
no, especially when you do an adjustment, right? And then you're able to, you feel like you almost won 2 trades when you do an adjustment.
Exactly.
I could have lost, but man, it's like you got in a big fight and you just got out of it and you're like, okay, I'm okay.
Exactly. Exactly. And I understood the theory of it. Then the first time you do it, it's like, okay, it's like you got to close that one trade, got to open another one. It's like, okay, all right, I get it. But like, man, it just worked awesome. And actually, that one, I think what really happened was the one that I was having to, the first one I had to adjust. I got out, I maybe I jumped the gun a little bit, but I got my debit wasn't quite all the way up there, but we were getting worried because it's getting really toward the end of the day. I want to make sure I got filled on the, on getting out of the trade. And so I did. So I had an extra, little bit, on the debit side. And so I thought, well, when I do this, I'm gonna add a couple extra contracts in here, and just see what happens. And it worked awesome. So so it really did. And the only other one that I've had any kind of an issue with ended up being break even on that one. It was my bad. I was out of town and I thought I would be back in time where I get in front of the computer, and I had to do it on my phone when we were driving. So that was that was my bad.
A little bit of pressure
I have to admit, and because I thought I'd be back by 2 p.m. Or an hour before the close, and like it didn't happen. So I was like, oh yikes! So I had to do it on my phone, which was not great. So I probably got out a little bit earlier, but I was able to place the the adjusted trade. I ended up breaking even on that one, so that worked out fine. But I will not do that again.
You said that before. It's always a learning experience,
yes,
and everything
exactly.
that you do. So okay, and then what would you say to someone they're watching this, or they will be part of possibly the next group of MP traders, market power traders, and they're on the fence and they're kind of thinking, should I do this? What would you say to them as someone that's more advanced? You've been in this program for a while.
Right. Here's what I would say. If you're interested in making consistent returns, and it's a super simple trade to set up. I mean, it's really one of the easiest trades that we do. So it's got an extremely high probability of profit. If that's what you're interested in, you need to join the program. So it's, again, it's a super simple trade to do. There's really not that much analysis on it. And if in the rare case the trade does go against you, the adjustment also is very simple. So you just got to follow the rules with it. And again, if you're looking for a simple trade with very consistent returns, then I would by all means join.
All right. Well, thank you, Robert, for joining us today. And can't thank you enough for sharing your experiences. And really, we love having you in the group and trading and talking with you often. So really appreciate it.
All right. Thanks, guys. And hey, I want to tell you guys how much I appreciate the training you've given me, because again, Matt, that's really what I was looking for, the ability to do the analysis myself, just determining really my own risk factor and what I wanted to take on, and what sometimes it's like, oh, I don't want to take that on. And again, it's just been a tremendous benefit to me. And it's such a confidence builder to be able to do that on your own without just following somebody else blindly, without knowing how they're doing the setup. It's just been great, and I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Well, thank you, Robert. Well, we'll talk to you soon.
Okay. All right. See you guys.
Have a great day.
Okay.